Good night. Wow. What did I tell you about the movie? Incredible, right? Amazing. So now, as we announced, we have a Q&A, and we have the presence now of the actor Sergi López, the director of the movie Oliver Laxe, and the director Guillermo del Toro. Please welcome them.
Hola, hola.
Hola.
Uno para hacer.
Hola, hola.
Hola, ¿cómo
Una
está?
pinqueta de chisplao. Bueno, chica, ¿no?
No,
eso lo rompo con el culo. I destroyed a sofa in national TV once. It was horrible. That's funny. So thank you for coming. What an exceptional movie. And, I think we're going to talk a little bit about the making and the origins of it. Olivier has himself a really interesting background. He has only a few movies, but each of them seems to add to the experience and the way he shoots and his origins also. How much this comes from his experience and his nationality, imaginations in nationality makes us Moroccan, French. You want to talk a little bit? Your first movie is almost a documentary, and you are in it sort of as a character, right?
Yes, I was living in Tangier. I finished my studies at the university in Spain, and I left to Morocco. So I did a film with 3 friends and my neighbors from Tangier.
Uh-huh.
And we were lucky because we went to camp in 2010. So that's the moment when life told me you are a filmmaker. So,
And little by little, this movie starts, for example, with barely just a line. You wanted to make a movie about trucks in the desert, something like that, very, very, very lean. And it evolves into creating a whole world that feels completely cohesive, but doesn't have to explain itself. What was the genesis of this, and how did it evolve to what it is today?
Sirât.
Sirât.
So when I arrived to Morocco, obviously I'm a filmmaker of images, so I had these images of these trucks crossing the desert. After these 5 years in Tangier, I moved to the desert to live on a palm grove. But at the same time, since the beginning in Morocco, I remember when people, in Morocco, people are surrounded by death. It's not like in Europe, that we hide death.
Yes.
We are thanatophobic. It's not like in Mexico.
In Mexico, we know what you're talking about.
You have a bath in the death every day.
Yeah.
So I remember I was with people who had who were surrounded by people who passed away, or their cultures, they were like dying because of the rain or whatever, and they were saying a sentence that I after understood and learned: "Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un." That means we come from God and we come back to God.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about the sense, it's how they were saying this.
Yes.
I felt detachment, I felt acceptation, when they were saying this, I felt light or barakah. And so I was quite, 23 years old when I arrived, and I felt I had to make a practice of death, to experiment death, to meditate death. So this film, I think it belongs to this intention of dying, learning to die.
Yeah, which is one of the main components of life.
And totally. This is the mystery of creation,
Of
right?
course.
Guillermo, it's strange. It's through death or through pain that we are more, when we accept this, that we are more free.
It is interesting to me because part of it is a pilgrimage movie, in the way that Canterbury Tales can be a pilgrimage movie, but it doesn't have the European sense of doom, of death. Like death comes, and the tragedy is that people keep on living. people surrounding the main characters keep on living. And I think that that's the rhythm of the movie. One of the things that I find remarkable, the large cosmic metronome of the movie is impossible to consider without the landscape. The landscape is also a character. So, but you combined Morocco and Spain. So how did that happen?
Yeah, we had to spend money in Spain.
We all do.
It's a good investment, right?
Come on, Iberico.
And in Bati, Morocco, there is no jamón. So.
Because I'm not there.
I mean, you can find everything in Morocco. Yes, so we were shooting 3 weeks in Morocco. The first part of the film, for example, the raid was shot in Morocco, also because we organized a real raid. And so we needed that punks from all over Europe come to the Quilts party. If we were organizing the raid in Morocco, we had to dress extras as punks, and it was not my intention. So, and I don't know. Yes.
How long was the rain?
It was 3 days.
High frame.
Thank you. That was the deal with the ravers. Was we don't stop the music in 3 days, but we only needed to shoot 1 day and a half. After we went to
I'm shot in Europe. I understand.
So the thing is that yes, I'm from Galicia. I'm from a family of peasants. They emigrated to France. That's where my parents met. Where I did my third film is.
Were your parents both from Galicia?
Yeah, from villages. Yeah. And so I'm really related with nature. Now, for example, I'm living in the house of my grandmother in the mountains in Galicia.
Yes.
And the Moroccan landscape, Moroccan landscape is a wounded landscape.
Yes, of course.
When you see these mountains with all these layers, you feel the creation of the planet.
Yes.
In Mexico, you have this kind of landscape, and you feel small, and you feel you are nothing. And this is good. I mean, that helps me to have less anguish, to be in the level where I have to be, that is being a zero,
Yeah, geologically, there is an indifference, and a beautiful, brutal indifference from the landscape to the humans that live and suffer in it.
I don't think it's indifference. I think that nature, that life take care of us. It's just that sometimes to take care of us is shaking you. It's pushing you to the edge of the abyss, like in the film. When you don't do the work, it's when the slap in your face, it's harder,
It is, there is now in terms of, and we'll get to Sergi very soon, unfortunately. No, we will, when you get a microphone, we'll ask you things. No, but the evolution of it in terms of, do you plan the story, Oliver? Do you say this is, obviously you need to have special effects, permissions for gunpowder, so there is more, or do you find it every day with the crew and the cast every day?
You know that this is a thing that it's difficult to provide. Thank you very much.
By the way, can you tell the good people how many days you have to shoot this?
7 weeks. Yeah. 35 days, yeah.
That's, for me, that's catering. It's astounding. That's amazing.
With visual effects, it's really difficult. I never did a film like this. I'm come from the underground, and it's the first time I make an explosion. And my team, we come from documentary. We never make advertisement with cars. It's the first time I put a camera on a camera car,
Mm-hmm.
So, but we did a good job. I think that.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that we were working a lot. We are not genius. We are just hard workers. And we are courageous.
Yeah.
This film, it's really risky.
But do you find are you informed by the landscape, your crew, your cast, and you say, let's try this different thing, or do you have a pretty solid idea of where things are gonna happen in the narrative?
The film is a radical translation of the script. Obviously, life always makes the script when you are shooting in a way, but you know, it's a big boat. You can't improvise. You can, I mean, with visual effects, with things coming from Spain. Probably you think that it's a little bit, it's improvised because we were shooting, you know, with real people, you know, we were like capturing the textures of the real. That's why you think it's,
But
there
you
is a
have-
balance, you know, between the masculine, you know, shooting with 100 people, but at the same time, it's really feminine the way we are shooting the textures, the sand.
That's one of the things that I noticed. It was very open to whatever was happening. Meaning, if you had a little sandstorm or a little too much sun, or the sun was, there was a very benign, very beautiful. Well, let's go with that. You know, like I'm sure you were not carrying wind machines.
Yeah.
So if the wind came and it overtook everything.
Thanks God.
Yeah.
We were, it's like that. Life gives you sometimes, other time takes from you. The desert is like this.
But the desert is, and I was going to make that comment, when you are watching Lawrence of Arabia, you know when it's take one, and you know when it's take two, because Lean would always say, after 2 tracks of the camel footprints, we go back to the hotel and we shoot tomorrow. But with you, there's 50 camel tracks, and it's, you know, you welcome everything.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm learning to have acceptation more and more on shootings. And I understood that, I mean, you know, cinema is art of how you deal with your frustration.
Of course.
And more you are mature, more you accept what life gives to you. When we are editing the film, sometimes we are frustrated during the shooting, but after when we watch the images, it's when we notice, wow, it was perfect. Life doesn't give you what you are looking for.
It
Life
gives you
gives
what you
you
need.
what you need.
I agree with
And
you.
this film is about this.
The older you get, the more you listen to the movie. Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to say this right
No,
now,
no,
but
it's true.
during the shooting, I'm like pissed off, you know, like, come on, you know, I'm Sergi, come on,
But, well,
do your job, man.
no more pot. Sergi, speaking of pot. Speaking of what? Pot. No. No, but how did you guys connect the first time? By the way, one of the best collaborators I've ever had in my 61 years of life. The best.
I mean, I really, it's really well known in Spain. He worked more in France. It's even better known in France. It was beautiful, by the way, to see how people love you in France. And so, yes, from the beginning, he was really committed to the
Did you write it for him? Or did you-
No, but when we chose him, yes, we changed few things. At the beginning, I was imagining another kind of actor, you know? I mean, was someone more like, I don't know, with more like me, you know, with nostalgia, with, you know, someone a little bit more, and he's really light, and he's really playful, and he's really,
Yes.
you know. And that was the thing, you know, that at the end it was better to have someone that you don't expect that will go where we wanted to go, you know. And I think humankind is about this, you know. We never, when you push human beings to their limits, they show the best.
Yes.
You know, I think I'm radically.
And Sergi, your formation was, you had a very, very serious formation in clown school in France, and you learned to react and to play with the things as they came. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, what I'm still doing.
Yeah.
Making clown. Well, this idea to react, to live what happened, and take everything that was happening in the set, be inspired about everything. That's the motto. That's
Yeah,
the motto of my job. You know, even in this movie, it was a lot of people told me, "What? We know nothing about the character. We know nothing. We don't know why he's with his son. Where is the mother? What? And for me, it's wonderful to have this space to play because
A blank.
Nothing. Just
Because-
go to the desert, meet the people, meet the punks, meet the party, and leave that and rest to that.
Because you are really intuitive. Your work is about intuition. You know where, secretly, you always know
Where it's going.
Well, but even your job, I think it is a little contradiction all the time. You have
Yeah.
to stay intuitive, and at the same time, it's a movie. You cannot do what you want.
No.
I
I think that people have a hard time understanding, and I said, well, yes, we enthrone control, the direction. But I say it's hostage negotiation with reality. You know, hostage negotiation. Reality says, I'm gonna fuck your movie up, and you go, oh really? Put the gun down, let's talk. You know, the sun went the other way, it's raining. You have to recognize the opportunity on everything.
That's a good thing. A film has to trust in the author.
Yes,
You know, I mean, it's if at the level of the author, what is the point, you know?
yes.
I mean, I truly believe that life, that life chooses you to express something
That thing, yeah,
in a
particularly.
way.
And when you, one of the things I find very moving is the way the violence occurs. You know, obviously there is the final moment where he gains grace and he just walks and nothing explodes. Of course, this is a very profound, very Eastern notion of grace, you know, but the moment the violence is introduced is the way it's introduced in life, is with the two least characters that you least expect to die immediately. And they don't die in a dramatic, there's nothing dramatic about it. That's a solution that, you know, is so simple and so hard to recognize and respect that simplicity. So if that was, did you shoot the deaths, and you must have shot in order these things, because this is not a super production. We say, bring the second band or the third band. Once it was gone,
You only have
it
one
was
shot.
gone. Exactly. So
And the actors, they were like Tom Cruise. They were doing the
stunt.
the
So the little dog and the little boy were like Tom Cruise. Anyone from SAG in the room? Ayatsi? No, but I think that it's important to distinguish. When I first went to Spain with Devil's Backbone, I had just gone through the wineskins on Munich, and I went to Pedro Almodovar and I said, my only condition is that I have Final Cut. And he said, what is a Final Cut? And after I cut the final version of the movie, he says, who else would? and I think the same is for an actor, like it's done out of pure passion, pure art. Like Sergi, the last day of Pan's Labyrinth, he left early because he had theater. He had theater play. And I go,
that makes you laugh.
He's a real punk.
but it's so beautiful. And then after Pan's Labyrinth, I won't say the movie, but Sergi got offered a giant movie. And he said, when does it shoot? He says, August. He says, August, I'm on vacation. Here's the movie at this
But
stage.
that's why he has really good relation with the Ravens.
Yes.
They really, I mean,
Respected it.
yeah, a lot. I mean, because he doesn't care. He's authentic.
I will- 100%.
Since, you know,
But when we say this, it's so important to distinguish the level, the type of enterprise. This is, you know, when we say, well, they don't make movies that are original, how come we see the same movie? This is the root of that. That is approached purely from an artistic creational point of view. So let me ask you about that. The ravers are real, they're street artists and ravers, and the casting was done formally, informally, or did you?
a mix. We went to raves. So we were casting
I
and,
like your everyday
and,
life.
and raving in
So
dance floors.
you identified people.
Yeah, we were looking, to build a family. And so we did a calendar of several raves all over Europe. I mean, on the south of Europe, France, Italy, Portugal, Spain. And so we took time. We took time, you know, I'm a slow filmmaker. I make a film each 5 years, and it's okay. And so after we made a group of 20, we make a workshop, a weekend all together after 15, 10, and at the end when we had the 5, they came to my home in Galicia. And we spent 1 month and a half together. Sergi came, and we were like watching films,
living together.
living together, going to the forest, working on the farm. You know, like it was beautiful because, you know, I mean, every film, and in particular my films, you need people really committed, really loyal to the project, not to you, to the project. You know, you need to build something solid because making film, you are in your limits, psychological limits, physical limits every day. You know, so it's important this and I'm so grateful, you know, to my team, my producers. Most of them they are here. You know, I mean, I'm proud. I think we were courageous to make this film. I don't know what is your opinion, Maestro.
I absolutely adore it.
It's risky. It's something like this, you know. Nowadays, it's not easy to make a film like this.
No, any film.
Any film.
But the other thing that I admire, the people were able to put together the rave. I mean, when they're connecting the speakers, there's a second nature to it. They really did it, right? They were able to assemble the.
It was a real rave. I mean,
Yeah.
I think cinema is perfect on the way to adapt life to it. But in my case, I prefer to adapt myself to life. You know, all my films, in a way, I try to capture an image. You know, and beauty has laws, has rules. You know, I mean, you need to give something.
Beauty has truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, their condition to don't stop the music in 3 days was perfect for us. You know, I mean, we love life, we love people.
And the fact is, if you did stop it, then everything else will be a lie. Like it has to happen for them to be lost the way they're lost in the music and in the moment. You're not going to say, stop, we're going to put the camera over here, and now, you know, they really are there, and you feel it in their rhythms.
Yeah, it was important. At some point, you know, cinema is about lying. You know, everything is a lie. And it can be a beautiful lie. I mean, it has to be with truth, as you say.
Yeah.
Why do we want to make a real rave? From the point of view of production, it was really tough to make legal something that is legal, you know? And we wanted that.
Now we're talking about Spanish producers.
Totally. The thing is that, you know, when we make a film, we want to talk about your time. That's what we want filmmakers.
Yes.
We want to connect with your time, with the fears, with the dreams of you, the people of your
But
time.
this movie is so much now.
That's why.
It's
That's what
urgent,
we wanted,
man.
that real rave. You know, when you see these people dancing, we see us today. You know, we are keep looking for transcendence. I think human beings, but it's like we don't have the tools, or the tools that are not good, or we are like lost in a way. But I think it's beautiful, you know, that we are keeping looking for transcendence. You know.
But that's one of the things, and we'll come back. I want to ask Sergi about his work with the boy and the puppy. But one of the most beautiful symmetries in the film is you are talking about people that have a way of life to abandon themselves to it, and then at the end, it is mines under the ground. They explode. And that's why I find very moving that Sergi, who is not a raver in the character, raves by just walking to the rock. He's raving, he abandons himself to it. And that beautiful symmetry comes from the rhythms of the movie. Like the movie takes its time until you're living it. Mm-hmm. And this, every day, did you shoot from first light to last light, or did you have a particular amount of time for it? Like, was it a 12-hour shoot, a 6-hour shoot, or an all-day shoot anytime it needed?
No, I mean, it was, I mean, we have unions, you know, and you have to work. Fortunately or unfortunately, you have to, we were shooting 11 hours, I think, 10 hours with one of lunch. So yes, it's quite structured, everything. And we were shooting, the bad thing is that we were shooting in June and July. That is the time when obviously it's really hot and the light is the worst in Morocco. I was living 10 years in Morocco, I really know this light is amazing. So we were shooting the worst time because of the financement. And we always want to...
But later in the year, the light becomes very golden. Right?
Yeah, it's really golden. I don't know, life wanted this, so...
Yeah.
And I think it's good because, I mean, there is like more dust in the sky, you know, in June and July, Kalima.
Mhm.
But I think that gives abstraction to the desert. You know, it's not like this postal card desert, you know. I think it's good because at the end, when we are in the desert, we feel, I hope as a spectator, we feel that it's a desert, but it could be something else.
Yeah,
We feel estrangement, right, in the desert.
It is one of the the movie is obviously has an aspect of it that is a parable, or that is an abstraction. So, and the desert
Like in your film.
provides, it provides that.
You work really well with parables,
Yeah.
with universal archetypes and,
Yeah,
and symbolism.
and the simplicity of the parable depends on when people say, like, the addiction to plot makes movies have no story, and this has a lot of story and very little plot, and that's what gives it that grace.
Why do you think it is like this?
Because I think that there was a moment, and you can almost count it a few decades ago, when people were raised on manuals of screenwriting, and there was things that you needed to pay off, and there was plot points and this and that, and then people became fascinated by the machinery. And I don't think the machinery is story. Story is flow. And I think when you abandon yourself to that, there's a lot of people that have linear thinking. But let me ask Sergi, because he seems distraught. Sergi, sorry, what?
I will answer into my opinion of why.
Then do it now.
Yeah, it's... Sorry, Sergi.
No. Put the microphone down. Kick it my way. Don't move.
I think I'm a filmmaker of images, you know, and I think that nowadays the creative process is so long on a film, script writing, pre-production, that we put so much weight into images. Images, they are instrumentalized to say things. So they have too much weight, so they arrive to the edition dead. You know, they are not more alive. You know, the images doesn't have all these layers of sensoriality, symbolism, universal archetype, you know. And I think that in my case, I protect the images from myself.
As they keep something latent in there.
Yeah, they are alive. They are alive. That's the thing. And when an image can say a lot of things, can evoke a lot of things. And this film, we really trusting on how an image can penetrate the human metabolism, you know?
Yeah. I think the images can have so many, symphonically, they can be used structurally, they can be lyrical, they can be capture something that is impossible to capture in verbal. But in your case, you capture a place and a time and a flow in a beautiful way. And I want to talk to Sergio a moment about your work with the child, because it's impeccable. When did you guys meet, you and the kid, and how did you work with him?
It was really easy. We make some
Casting rehearsals.
With different kids, and I don't know. With Bruno, it was simple. It was easy.
It's incredibly easy.
Yeah. But I think that we have something personally, in Bruno and me, that maybe we don't. It's not that we don't care what else is doing, but it's not important. You know, to play. Well, we will try to play some scene. But now I'm your father, okay? And she laughed, and he laughed. He was laughing all the time. So it was very, very easy to be a little bit. All the crew look at us with a smile.
It was really
So
beautiful.
look at the
But you were like a unit.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are all the time together, and The people say that
It was
we
really
were
good
funny.
to see you
we were funny,
working
yes.
and laughing and
Yes,
enjoying.
because
You built
that-
something together
Sí.
that it was really natural,
Sí,
organic.
very simple with Bruno, very simple. I was his father.
Even physical, no? You had a.
Yes, we have something.
Now, when you were working with him, the greatest thing is to achieve the true sense that you're a father, when you're equal. One of the things you have is you feel they've been on this quest for the daughter for so long that they are equals. Like you say, don't do this, don't do that, do that. But it's incredibly easy.
But that is what happened. I think it's a little bit not a miracle, but something, to play these things, it's so evident that it's a lie, it's not true, that you have to have a faith. And for faith, we need filmmaker, somebody who inspire you. And I think the first time that with Bruno, we make a rehearsal casting, a scene where he's not in the movie, in the moment where I tell him, we don't see that in the movie, but it's not in the screenplay. But we say, Bruno, I think I go to the desert to search Mar, your sister. And he told me, I go with you. I said, no, you don't go with me. You don't go. I go alone. The desert is dangerous for you. And he said, no, Papa, I go with you. And it was very simple. It was the first rehearsal we made.
It's true.
Yes, and I was astonished. Because I was me emocioné. I was.
You were touched.
I was touched. I was touched for his simplicity to say no, Daddy, I go with you. I cannot stay here. And it's simple. He's not my son, but that works at the first sentence.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I've come with age to understand one thing, that once you put something in a movie, whether it's in pre-production or in the movie, and you take the scene out or not, it stays. There's an alchemy, because you had that rehearsal. That dynamic stayed in the film for the whole time. And the other advantage, whoever you were looking for, and you found Sergi, and I think that the beauty of it is him and his son represent a different world. I mean, the way they dress, the way they move, the way they keep their backpacks, the way they live in their own band. Their band is very different from all the other. So they come from outside, and little by little they integrate. And just when any narrative would say, well, now things are going to go better,
Yeah,
the kid goes over.
exactly.
And that first death starts the last movement of the movie, which for me is almost like a piece of music. And the last third of the film plays, I don't want to be facetious, but it plays like something you have to rate with. Mm-hmm. And the way it connects with the audience is so profound that we find ourselves in the rhythms of it. This is very, very moving and completely unusual.
We did shock therapy. And a lot of psychotherapy, some psychoanalysts, they come to us and they say us that we did something that they do through therapy, that is to suspend this level of perception, to suspend the brain that is taking too much place when we are in front of a film, We are all the time with the pirate radio, blah, 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 blah. And the film so breaks this and allows other levels of perceptions
To rise.
So at the end you write
As opposed to processing here.
the current of the images takes you in a way, and it's when they penetrate you, the images, as I said before, and yes, we would trust on cinema, we trust on images. It's what happened between images and the body, the body of the spectator is something really complex.
It is complex, and it's rhythmical too. It's rhythm.
It's rhythm.
Yeah. And one of the things,
art is about proportions.
The proportions in the pieces that are composition of the movie. And one of the things that I love, and I know we're going too long, but I also don't give a fuck. So we're gonna go a little longer. Because I mean, when you find a movie like this, you don't wanna understand it, but
You're
you
not
wanna.
home to
Yeah, I'm Mexican.
Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was going to talk about how the film when you have a device, like we're looking for my daughter, all right? That could be the searchers. No, this could be this movie, right? If it's the searchers, it has a structure, it ends in a certain way, and but here, like, who else does this beautifully? The Coen brothers. There's always a suitcase full of money that never goes anywhere. In the middle of the movie, they forget about it, and they say, "Oh yeah, it was over there." But I love that in the search for the daughter, he loses the son, and then everybody loses more and more and more until all they have is a train moving through the landscape. It's such a beautiful, clean metaphor. Was this in your mind from the beginning?
The train.
The train and the fact that they were going to lose.
Yeah.
The more you search, the more you lose.
Yeah, there is a sentence that I also learned in Morocco in my travels. It's when God loves you, He breaks you. And
He works for CIA.
it's we say before life gives you, taking from you.
It is true.
So, and a lot of people says to me, this, I mean, I don't want to interpret the film. The film, as I said, has different interpretations depending on who you are and the day, etc. There are spectators that tells me that this father, in a way, dance when they're making this catharsis, this dance at this ceremony in the desert. He found her. He found her on a subtle way. He danced her. He understands her. He was never so near his daughter that after losing his
But also she's somewhere in that world. Meaning, why should she be by the side? Why should she be in what he understands is safe? She's somewhere in that desert. And I think that, at times you can feel it's a risky point, or you can feel George Miller, or you can feel Claire Denis, but it's not any of that. Really, what you have created is a unique parable about letting go, and that's what I found incredibly moving. And when you have that level of clarity, in a way, did you guys have discussions about the spirituality that was behind the movie, Sergi, before that?
Yes, we talk a lot of times. We talk about spirituality. Even if make a movie for actors is I don't know if it's easier, but it's not more simple. We have to go into one scene, and when you go to the scene, never nothing other exists. Yeah, only this scene, this day we
Right now.
that right now. So of course, with Oliver, it's impossible to don't talk about the spirituality of what happened with this travel, what happened when you are searching for your sister and for your daughter, and you lose your son. So obviously you have to talk about it. But after to play, you cannot play thinking. You cannot think. You cannot play thinking. You think before. You can talk before, but after you can go. You have to go. You have to abandon your body, and your body sometimes are some response
answers
that your head have not.
I think that we were connected. Sorry.
No.
I think we were connected doing this film. We were really connected to our wound and to a transgenerational wound.
I understand.
We feel this on the film.
Yeah.
We feel the pain that we are surrounded in the world. I don't know. I mean, you when you were playing, you are not Luis.
No.
You are not Luis. You don't have.
No, that's incredible.
When you were, for example, in that scene, when you were dancing, I'm totally sure you were like healing some pain of your lineage. Sergi. We were really making a kind of familiar constellation with this film.
Yeah, and it is exceptional. And now I do give a fuck. So I want to thank you for coming on. If I may, movies like this exist or make a mark or are seen only if you guys talk about them. You know, this doesn't have a big machine behind it. And believe me, anything you can, any person you can force, threat, seduce into seeing this movie is a huge gain for movies in general and for this movie in particular. So please do that as you need. Thank you very much.
Thank you.